Let's use the salaries spreadsheet to get an idea of what your future salary might be like. Obviously, we cannot accurately predict it, but we can get some sense of what your purchasing power for your salary might be like. Let's scroll down on the tab named Salaries to recognize where the data comes from in these two sources. In each even numbered column, so here 2 and 4 and 6 and so on, those are even numbered columns. Those are static values collected generally around the year 2016 for these various age groups as you see listed down through column A. But we need to broadcast them, predict them forward in time for when you will be this age. And we're going to use then a 2% inflation growth rate. So this is more like a purchasing power than what an actual prediction of your salary. But it is a starting point to understand what future salaries might be like for you. So when making salary comparisons looking into the future, always choose an odd number column listed here as I'm highlighting for you. So now let's make some comparisons, say, amongst three different future salaries that you might experience. Let's suggest, say, for example, a bachelor's degree in engineering, and then let's go over here to column 19, and that'll be a bachelor's degree in business. And let's keep on going over here to say column 55, which should be a bachelor's degree, say, in psychology or social work. So let's enter those three values right here. So we'll enter 7, 19, and 55 so that we can compare those salaries to each other on your timeline going forward for your ages. So this might be somebody right now in 2025 who's 25 years old, and you can see what their salaries might be like going forward. Here's the red line for the social work degrees, here's the blue line for the business degrees, and here's the green line for the engineering degrees. And what we see is that when starting out, they may be separated by $10,000 to $20,000 or thereabouts, but later on toward retirement, there's a much greater separation between them on the order of, say, $50,000 to $60,000 between the blue and the green line, from 200,000 to 260,000 or so. Now, however, let's take a moment to say, well, let's see what happens if we get some different degrees in there, particularly graduate degrees. Maybe you decide to go back to school and get a graduate degree. So that will be these columns, odd numbered columns after the graduate degree column. So let's have a look at, say, instead of 7, let's have a look at a graduate degree in the physical sciences and a graduate degree in education. So we'll have column 33 for a graduate degree in education. And then let's go over here to the physical sciences, and we'll use column 53 for a graduate degree in the physical sciences, things like chemistry, physics, and my degree, which is in the earth sciences. So we're going to change the 7 to a 53, keep the 19, and change the 55 to 33 just to see how those salaries compare. And what we see is that the graduate degree in education, that's the red line, and then the bachelor's degree in business. These two are fairly similar. They only separate by $10,000 to $15,000, maybe 20,000 at most. So that's not a big separation, and it's a fairly constant separation between them. Whereas the PhD or graduate degree in the physical sciences, say perhaps a master's degree in chemistry or a PhD in earth science, those kinds of degrees, they're going to follow this green line, and we see that they actually do get quite a bit of separation. The point of this is not that you should always make more money. Hardly. That is not the point at all. The point is that you should be aware of what your potential salary will be for what you major in. It's delightful to major in whatever you have chosen. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But if you've chosen to major or something, say, along the blue line, don't suddenly expect to have a salary that's on the green line. Same thing for the red line. Don't suddenly expect to be jumping up to the values of the green line. You can have a look at to see how accurate these values might be. I mean, it's anecdotal to look at my salary in comparison. So here's my age back in my early 20s. I am now here in 2024, 2025. I'm 60, 61 years old. So the blue line is the actual salary that I made for each of those years. The red line would be a bachelor's degree from this collection of data for a physical scientist, and the green line would be a graduate degree, in my case, a PhD in the physical sciences and earth sciences. And what we see is that the green line comes actually, wobbling around kind of close to the blue line. Okay, so read the book and learn more about this salary spreadsheet.